Good evening and welcome to this special weather report for Sunday evening, October 12, 2025. The entire North American continent is now facing one of the most chaotic and extreme weather patterns since the start of autumn. A powerful nor'easter is taking shape just off the Atlantic coast, threatening the entire eastern seaboard of the United States, from North Carolina all the way to Maine. Waves are already exceeding 6 meters in height. Winds are reaching hurricane force, and heavy rain is forecast to cause widespread flooding, coastal erosion, and forced evacuations in several coastal communities. At the same time, in the western and southwestern parts of the country, strong storms and heavy rainfall continue due to an active upper-level trough. While in the north, the United States and Canada are bracing for the first snowstorm of the season. This is a moment when autumn, winter, and even the lingering heat of summer all coexist on one map. Let's take a closer look at each region to understand the complex and volatile atmospheric picture that's unfolding right now. According to the U.S. National Weather Service, a large low-pressure system is rapidly intensifying just off the Atlantic coast. Initially classified as a weak coastal low, the system has now strengthened into a full-scale nor'easter, drawing in cold and moist northeasterly air and feeding off the warm waters of the ocean. This is not a typical rain event, it's a true autumn storm with tropical-like characteristics, deep convection, strong low-level rotation, and rapidly falling pressure at its center. Recent model data indicates that the storm's central pressure may drop below 980 millibars. Unusually low for a non-tropical cyclone. Wind gusts along the coast are expected to reach 70 to 90 kilometers per hour, and in areas like New Jersey, Long Island, and Rhode Island, gusts could climb to 100 to 120 kilometers per hour, equivalent to a Category 1 hurricane on the Beaufort scale. Along the Atlantic shoreline, waves have already been building since early morning, averaging 3 to 6 meters, with localized peaks near Delmarva, New Jersey, and Long Island exceeding 20 feet. The combination of strong onshore winds and multiple high tide cycles is pushing water inland, flooding areas even before the heaviest rain arrives. Authorities have issued multiple coastal flood and erosion warnings, urging residents not to travel through low-lying coastal zones, seawalls, or docks through at least Monday morning. The nor'easter's core is expected to move slowly north along the Carolina coast, then sweep toward Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, and New Jersey through Sunday before peaking in strength over Long Island and New England early Monday. At that point, two low-pressure centers may merge into a double-barrel low, pulling bands of intense rain and strong winds inland. Rainfall totals are forecast to range between 75 and 150 millimeters, with localized amounts above 200 millimeters across the coastal Carolinas, Delaware, and southern New Jersey. Combined with the storm surge, these rains could turn streets into rivers. Around the Chesapeake and Delaware bays, water levels may rise 1 to 1.5 meters above normal, causing prolonged tidal flooding lasting through several high tide cycles. In Georgia and South Carolina, outer rain bands began moving ashore early this morning. Radar imagery shows a wide area of cyclonic cloud cover expanding northward, and the Outer Banks of North Carolina are expected to be among the first to experience the full force of the storm. The risk of isolated tornadoes is rated as low to moderate, though sudden gusts above 100 kilometers per hour remain possible. Farther north, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and the Delmarva Peninsula are forecast to receive the heaviest rainfall during the storm's first phase, up to 150 millimeters within 24 hours. This area is also expected to face the most severe urban flooding and coastal erosion. Coastal emergency crews are already on standby to evacuate residents should water levels rise above critical thresholds. By tonight, the storm will lift along the New Jersey coast toward New York City and Long Island, where it will likely unleash its strongest winds between Sunday evening and early Monday morning. Gusts of 110 to 130 kilometers per hour, 70 to 80 miles per hour. Waves over 6 meters, and significant storm surge flooding are anticipated. Power companies are warning of widespread outages caused by downed trees and power lines. Around Narragansett Bay in Rhode Island, Several seaside neighborhoods have already been advised to evacuate as a precaution. While the East Coast battles fierce winds and high tides, the western half of the U.S. faces a completely different threat. A strong Pacific trough continues to funnel moisture into Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and northern Mexico, bringing 25 to 75 millimeters of rain, less intense than earlier forecasts but still sufficient to trigger flash floods and landslides in mountainous terrain. From Monday through Tuesday, this system will shift toward Oregon and California, producing another round of heavy rain with totals of 50 to 100 millimeters. Particularly along coastal hillsides, with steep terrain and dry, cracked soils after summer heat, the risk of mudslides and flooding is significant. The National Weather Service advises avoiding mountain passes and canyon roads during this period. Farther north in Canada, the first Arctic air mass of the winter season is sweeping through Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Ontario. Central Canada is now experiencing a full-blown snowstorm, with wind gusts of 80 to 100 km per hour, 10 to 20 centimeters of snow, and near-zero visibility in blizzard-like conditions. In rural areas, travel is nearly impossible. In cities such as Winnipeg and Thunder Bay, residents are urged to stay indoors and prepare backup heating and power supplies. Meteorologists emphasize that this sequence of extreme weather events is no coincidence but the result of three major atmospheric factors. First, the jet stream has dipped far southward, dragging cold Canadian air into the Atlantic basin. Second, sea surface temperatures across the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico remain abnormally warm, feeding deep moisture into developing systems. And third, the Atlantic subtropical high has weakened, opening a gateway for a succession of low-pressure systems to form and move inland. The interaction of these three components has created what experts call a domino effect in the atmosphere, storms forming one after another, leaving little break between them. Across the continent, the East battles coastal storms and flooding, the West endures heavy rain, and the North freezes under snow. Medium-range climate models indicate that by October 20th, as northeasterly trade winds strengthen and the seasonal monsoon stabilizes, tropical activity in the Atlantic will gradually subside, signaling the likely end of the 2025 hurricane season. However, in the short term, the next 7 to 10 days are expected to remain very active, with additional weather disturbances possible from the Caribbean to the Gulf. European model data identifies the Delmarva to New England corridor as the most hazardous zone over the next 48 hours, where wind gusts exceeding 90 km per hour are likely. Wave heights may reach 8 meters, and total rainfall could top 150 millimeters. In the southwest, Arizona and New Mexico, rainfall amounts will remain between 25 to 50 millimeters, while California and Oregon prepare for 50 to 80 millimeters early next week. In Canada, snowfall accumulations could reach 15 to 25 centimeters across Manitoba and northern Ontario, with blizzard force gusts of 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. Emergency agencies across the United States are urging residents, if evacuation orders are issued, leave immediately. Coastal roads could be cut off for hours, and water levels may rise faster than predicted. Families should prepare emergency supplies, food, water, batteries, power banks, and essential medications, and avoid travel during high tide periods. Neighbors are encouraged to check on the elderly, those with mobility issues, and pets. Authorities reiterate a simple rule: you can take shelter from the wind, but you must run from the water. From the wind-lashed East Coast to the rain-soaked West and the snow-covered North, North America is in the grip of a powerful seasonal transition. October 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most volatile months in recent memory. As the boundary between summer and winter blurs, meteorologists will continue monitoring this nor'easter and other developing systems closely in the days ahead. If you find this report helpful, please subscribe, enable notifications, and share this video so others can stay informed. Before we close, here's a short reflection from Psalm chapter 36 verses 5 to 7. Your mercy, O Lord, is in the heavens, your faithfulness reaches unto the clouds. Your righteousness is like the great mountains, your judgments are a great deep. O Lord, you preserve both man and beast. May peace and safety be with you and your family through every storm. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in the next update.